This evening, first, outrage and uproar. A blasphemous video lands dancehall artist Baby Skellow in court, but it's the fallout between a government minister and a social media titan that's now taken center stage. Plus, election forms, frustration, and fiery pushback. GECOM updates its nomination documents, but the opposition says it's sabotage. We break down what it means for the September vote, and a grieving aunt breaks her silence. New accusations and chilling claims emerge in the mysterious death of 11-year-old Adriana Young. Why some relatives are now turning on each other. Meanwhile, why the sirens pay the price. The traffic department issues a blunt warning to reckless drivers, trailing ambulances and fire trucks. Could your shortcut land you in jail? Finally, halfway around the world, explosions rock Tehran for a fourth straight day. A live broadcast interrupted and tensions reach a boiling point. Stay tuned, these stories and more tonight on Headline News Update. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for June 17, 2025. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, a blasphemous libel case involving a controversial TikTok song has sparked a national debate in Guyana, highlighting issues of religious respect, free speech, and judicial consistency. Local dancehall artist Daniel Wharton, better known as Baby Skellow, was granted $45,000 bail after being remanded on June 13 for allegedly posting vulgar lyrics about the Hindu goddess Mahalakshmi. The incident sparked widespread outrage, drawing condemnation from the Hindu community and the Ethnic Relations Commission, and has since triggered sharp public and political reactions, including a fiery exchange between Education Minister Priya Manichan and social media personality Mikhail Rodriguez, also known as the Guyanese critic. Wharton, who surrendered to the police following a wanted bulletin, spent 3 days in custody before being charged and initially denied bail. The case was adjourned to July 1, 2025. However, today, his lawyers Dexter Todd and Everton Singh Lamy successfully secured bail in the High Court. The case has reignited debates on religious respect, free speech, and legal consistency. Minister of Education Priya Manichan had publicly questioned the judiciary's decision to remand Wharton on a charge of blasphemous libel, suggesting that greater urgency should be given to addressing more serious issues such as domestic violence and cyberbullying. Her remarks drew sharp criticism from social media commentator Mikhail Rodriguez. During his morning show, Morning Live with the Critic yesterday, Rodriguez lashed out at the minister, saying she should know better than to defend Wharton or question the court's ruling.
Minister Priya Manichan, I didn't know, I know I hear him. She'd be to be crying for Baby Skellow, knowing she's the Minister of Education. She's supposed to be the last body.
However, today, in response, the Education Minister condemned the recent comments made by Rodriguez, calling them vulgar and abusive.
What the critic fellow said was ignorant, as in it did not have contained facts. It was vulgar, it was abusive, it was profane, and it was uncalled for. All of that makes that a crime against the state under the cybercrime legislation. So, if I were to pick myself up from here, waste some time, and walk over to the cybercrime unit and make a complaint, he most likely would be charged.
Rodriguez's comments come amid his own legal troubles. He recently lost a $52 million defamation lawsuit to businessmen Nazar and Azruddin Mohammed over derogatory statements made on his program, Daybreak News. Now, Minister Manichan says his comments can be considered cyberbullying. On a different note, the Ghana Elections Commission, GECOM, has released an updated version of the nomination forms for the 2025 general and regional elections. GECOM stated that it aims to curb fraud and confusion following past controversies over unauthorized signatures. The new form, introduced by Chief Education Officer Vishnu Prasad, includes clear language at the top of each page to confirm nominators' awareness and consent. The form is mandatory for all candidate lists for national, regional, and geographic, and is now available on GECOM's website and offices. Nomination day is set for July 14th, while elections are scheduled for September 1st. However, the opposition People's National Congress Reform has condemned the move, calling the timing irresponsible. Executive member Ganesh Mahipal argued that political parties have already begun gathering signatures using the old form, which was still posted on GECOM's website when the elections were announced. He said the change forces parties, especially those in remote areas, to redo weeks of work, incurring extra costs. Mahipal also criticized the ruling People's Progressive Party, accusing it of benefiting from state resources during its campaign efforts, an advantage not available to the opposition. Despite the setback, he affirmed the APNU coalition's readiness to meet the deadlines and contest the elections. GECOM defended the revised form as necessary for transparency and efficiency, noting past incidents in 2018 and 2023 involving forged or unauthorized signatures. The Commission stated that the update would help prevent delays in verifying candidates' lists during the limited statutory processing period. Moving on, amid growing public concerns over the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young, her aunt, Amika Lewis, has taken to Facebook to question the circumstances surrounding her niece's disappearance and subsequent death at the Doubleday International Hotel pool in Tucson. In a strongly worded post, Lewis alleged inconsistency in the accounts provided by Adriana's grandmother and other family members who were present at the time of the incident. She claimed the grandmother lied about the cost of an alternative pool, instructed other children to withhold information from the police, and imposed a gag order on a 14-year-old relative. Lewis also questioned why the grandmother reportedly discouraged an initial search for Adriana. Accusing another relative, Stefan Young, of dishonesty, Lewis even went as far as to question whether her niece's death was part of a planned sacrifice, expressing deep mistrust of those who were with the child on the day she vanished. Adriana was reported missing during a family outing on April 23rd and was found dead the next day in the hotel pool. The incident has sparked outrage and calls for a thorough investigation, with both local and international authorities now involved. Originally scheduled for May 5th, Adriana's funeral was postponed due to the family's grief and need for clarity. It has been rescheduled for Sunday, June 22nd. The investigation remains active as the family continues to seek answers and justice. Stick around when we return. Police warns motorists over illegal bridge of right-of-way for emergency vehicles, and 200,000 government grant boosts early childhood centers across 5 regions.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing June 16, 2025 to produce an official list of electors for the conduct of general and regional elections. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you need to visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. If you do not apply for a transfer, you will have to go to the polling station where you will be listed to vote based on your previous residence. Wednesday, June 18, 2025 is the last day you can apply for a transfer during this exercise. For more information, contact GECOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services. 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Police are investigating the suspected drowning of a 21-year-old mechanic, Nazim Hammed, whose body was found earlier today after he disappeared while swimming at Comaka Mines Upper Demerara River, Region 10. Hammed of Brighton Village, West Bank, Berbice, had traveled to Linden on Saturday to visit his 16-year-old girlfriend. On Sunday afternoon, the couple and several friends went to Comaka Mines Beach to swim. According to reports, Hammed swam towards the center of the river before suddenly going under and disappearing beneath the surface around 4 p.m. Despite efforts by bystanders to locate him, his body was not immediately recovered. A search continued into Monday, where his body was found floating near the spot where he went missing. Police have launched an investigation into the incident. In other news, the traffic department is cracking down on drivers stealing emergency vehicles. Dale Jarvis explains why this risky trend could land you in serious trouble.
The Guyana Police Force Traffic Department is urging motorists to obey traffic laws and yield to emergency vehicles after noting an increase in drivers unlawfully following behind ambulances, police cars, and fire trucks using their sirens and lights. The department cited Section 4 of the Road Traffic Guyana Fire Service Order, which requires drivers to pull over and stop on the left side of the road when approaching emergency vehicles. Vehicles must remain stationary until the emergency vehicle has passed, including on both sides of dual carriageways. It is also illegal to follow or trail emergency vehicles after they pass, an action the department says is becoming alarmingly common as drivers attempt to bypass traffic. Authorities warn that this behavior is dangerous, disrupts emergency operations, and could result in an arrest, prosecution, or license suspension. Motorists are reminded to stay alert, give way promptly, and avoid maneuvers that could block emergency access routes. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. 10 early childhood centers across regions 2, 3, 4, 6, and 10 are benefiting from a $200,000 government grant each aimed at improving child care standards nationwide. The initiative, led by the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, was launched in observance of International Day of Play. Among the recipients is the Atikali Learning Lab in Ogle, East Coast Demerara, which plans to expand its outdoor classroom. Managing Director Quinita Waldron welcomed the grant, saying it will enhance their STEM-based play-focused program. Other beneficiaries include the Young Scholars Academy in Region 2, which will use the funds to complete its outdoor space, and Unique Daycare in Region 3, which intends to purchase new recreational equipment for its upgraded playground. Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vinay Prasad, who presented the grants, said the program will continue nationwide to raise childcare standards and ensure children receive safe, high-quality early education. Don't go away after the break. Donald Trump leaves G7 summit early as Israel-Iran conflict intensifies. And Dominica government says no one injured after school roof collapses.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street. Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing June 16, 2025 to produce an official list of electors for the conduct of general and regional elections. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors in all registration divisions for you to check if you are listed and if your particulars are accurate. You can object to any one you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed on the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. You must visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Friday, June 20, 2025. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening. I am Nikita Ford. Welcome to our regional and international news segment, which keeps you informed and up to date with trending news story worldwide. In the Caribbean, Dominican's Education Minister, Octavia Alfred, has confirmed that the concrete roof of the Dominica Grammar School auditorium collapsed during construction on Monday. Thankfully, no injuries were reported as the area is securely separated from school operation. Classes continue as normal. The government is reviewing the incident with the contractor, emphasizing students and staff safety. The school was slated for completion by June, but the Prime Minister Skellow previously warned against rushing construction. The Iranian capital has come under Israeli attack for a fourth day. Al Jazeera Osama Ben Javeh reports.
This is the moment when Israel attacked Iran's state TV during a live broadcast. The state TV compound was in the area where Israel issued an evacuation threat, which is home to embassies, UN agencies and diplomatic staff. It comes as more strikes have hit western and eastern parts of Tehran. The entire country has been under attack. In the northwest, an Israeli strike hit a hospital. The wards were damaged and patients were injured. Iran's foreign ministry is calling it a war crime. In the early hours of Monday, Israel fired more missiles. Air defense systems in Tehran were activated. Israeli attacks have killed at least 228 Iranians and injured more than 1,200 others. Iran says Israel is killing civilians, including 70 women and children. The entire country is under attack. Israel's Air Force has claimed to have struck Mashhad airport, about 2,300 kilometers from Israel, making it the longest reach of Israeli attacks since Friday. Israeli strikes have targeted Iranian nuclear and missile facilities and assassinated military commanders and scientists. In the last 24 hours, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps intelligence chief Mohammad Kazemi and his deputy Hassan Muhaqqiq were killed. President Masoud Pezeshkian has warned Tehran's response will be more decisive and severe if Israel's hostile actions continue.
They have already passed all the red lines, and when they pass these red lines, Iran needs to take serious actions against that. The same model that was happening in Gaza and in Lebanon is being repeated by the Israelis here.
In response, there was another hit in Haifa. Iranian missiles hit near the city's energy plant. Israel's main port city is being targeted by Iran after Israel attacked Iranian oil facilities. Air defense systems in Tel Aviv were triggered early on Monday morning to intercept Iranian missiles. Air raid sirens were activated in cities across Israel, and people were told to take shelter. Multiple buildings have been destroyed as Israel's advanced air defenses were unable to block all missiles. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps says it's using new methods in this latest wave, which disrupted Israel's defense systems and caused them to target each other. Iranian targets included Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's residence and military sites.
The government has not been able to speak clearly about such an off-ramp or about an exit strategy or about an endgame. Many options have been floated, from regime change to slowing down the nuclear program. So a lot of Israelis are more cheerful than they've been in a while, especially after the debacle of Gaza.
Israel triggered the crisis with its surprise attack on Friday. Iran says the aggression proves Israel does not abide by any humanitarian, legal or international rules. And as the back and forth strikes continue, more civilians are dying on both sides. Sama bin Javid, Al Jazeera.
Israel is preparing for further Iranian retaliation, with its airline evacuating passenger-less planes to Athens to avoid attack risks. Al Jazeera Judy Yeager reports.
Israel is bracing for more retaliation. Israeli airlines are moving their planes out of the country one by one, empty of passengers. It's part of a contingency plan to avoid being targeted in an unexpected Iranian attack. Some of Israel's major fleets, including El Al and Arica Airlines, have declined to say where the planes are headed. But a number of aircraft have landed in Larnaca International Airport in Cyprus. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's official plane has also left the country. What's known as the Wing of Zion was spotted in Athens. Israel's ambassador to Greece, Naum Katz, is believed to have been the sole passenger on board. As Israel's largest airport, Ben Gurion, remains deserted, many Israelis stuck inside and outside the country fear uncertainty of the days to come. Many global airlines have halted flights to and from Tel Aviv. With Iran and Israel vowing to maintain attacks, it's likely many fleets will stay away from Israel for the foreseeable future. Julie Dager, Al Jazeera.
U.S. President Donald Trump has left the G7 summit in Canada a day early to deal with the intensified Israel-Iran conflict. Al Jazeera James Bates reports.
The leaders of the G7 countries at a summit in the Canadian mountains that's been dominated by a conflict thousands of kilometres away in the Middle East. It's because of the urgency of the situation that President Trump confirmed he was leaving a day early to return to DC.
Well, I have to be back. Very important. I want to just thank our great host. He did a fantastic job. Thank you. In Canada. But you probably see what I see. And I have to be back as soon as I can.
The president described recent developments as big stuff, but he gave few more details. His French counterpart, Emmanuel Macron, said his departure may be positive news and that he had told the other leaders fresh diplomacy was now underway.
There is an offer that has been made, especially to have a ceasefire and to initiate broader discussions. And I think this is a very good thing. So now we need to see what the stakeholders will do.
But despite Macron's comments, the situation is uncertain. Some US and Israeli media are reporting that Trump is still weighing up the idea of the US joining the war. And Trump posted this on his social media platform, Truth Social. The last line was shocking. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. What happens next is far from clear, but that may well be the point. President Trump likes high-stakes diplomacy. He may well be trying to use uncertainty as a lever to force Iran to make further concessions on its nuclear program. James Bays, Al Jazeera, at the G7 summit in the Canadian Rockies.
Thanks, Nikita. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it to be 2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.